All right, I think there's a good chance this man has to clap.
That is Democratic strategist James Carville talking about Donald Trump and this. What the hell was that stuff on Donald Trump's hands? As Trump waved at supporters outside a courthouse, he flashed bizarre red splotches.
They don't look like cuts to me. They look like sores. And I've asked a number of MDs what medical condition manifests itself through hand sores, and the answer is immediate and unanimous: secondary syphilis.
Syphilis is a sexually transmitted infection caused by a bacteria. According to medical experts, including the UK's National Health Service, the common symptoms of the second stage include a non-itchy skin rash appearing anywhere on the body, but commonly on the palms of the hands or soles of the feet. Other symptoms include tiredness and headaches. Trump has not said if he's suffering from headaches, but he has appeared tired and he has sounded tired.
You know, your political beliefs, what they do, they want to debank you, and we're going to debank. Think of this.
Social media has been thinking about it a lot. And for 2 days, Syphilis Don was one of the top trending items in politics.
And like a toddler, we get reports from Lisa that he's banging his hands on the table.
Over at MSNBC, the team at Morning Joe has their own theory.
His hands are bleeding. Looks like he has a sore.
Magic marker?
No, is it magic marker? Because it looks like he has a sore on his index finger there. I don't know. Maybe it's magic marker. I don't know.
It looks like a cut. I mean, that's blood, isn't it? I don't want to speculate. I don't know, but. Was there anything that happened inside the courtroom yesterday, Lisa?
There was. You know, there was a point in time during the day where Trump, very frustrated with Judge Kaplan, banged his hands down on the table. I doubt that the blisters or marks that we're seeing there come from that, but could they be exacerbated by that? Perhaps.
Yeah, like a toddler having a tantrum, perhaps, and causing bleeding to his hand.
Has Donald Trump been smashing his hands, causing one of them to bleed, or does Trump have syphilis? Either way, Trump has been erupting on social media. His rants and screeds the last few days on Truth Social have become epic. Clearly, Trump has a lot bothering him. Now, normally, many of us would avoid ridiculing anybody over their physical challenges and medical problems, but Donald Trump has repeatedly used the physical challenges and ailments of other people to attack them. So if Syphilis Don becomes a Trump nickname that sticks or oozes, well, that's life. And by the way, this isn't the first time in recent weeks that Donald Trump's personal hygiene has become a trending topic.
So take like armpits, ketchup, like a butt, and kind of put it in a blender and makeup.
And that is former Republican Congressman Adam Kinzinger talking to Ben Meiselas on the Midas Touch Network and describing Donald Trump's bad odor.
And you bottle that as a cologne. That's kind of that. But it's amazing. Like I've been amazed that, you know, everybody's just kind of like learning about this now.
That's due in part to Kinzinger himself. He recently tweeted, "I'm genuinely surprised that people close to Trump haven't talked about the odor. It's truly something to behold. Wear a mask if you can." Trump then drew even more attention to the issue with a campaign response.
But again, I think the bigger point is he's a weak human being. But look at this. He had his people respond to me on this.
Quote, Adam Kinzinger farted on live TV and is an unemployed fraud, the spokesperson said in a statement provided to The Independent. He has disgraced his country and disrespects everyone around him because he is a sad individual who's mad about how his miserable life has turned out.
I mean, this is the kind of leader, you know, of the greatest country in the world that we're looking at reinstating. And the odor's the odor. And, you know, I think that needs to stay alive. People need to keep talking about it because he's the kind of guy that would use something like that all the time against other people. He needs a taste of his own medicine.
And that taste, that stench, is now piling up.
And years ago, I posted about Trump being kicked out of Keen's Steakhouse in Manhattan, where I was eating with my father in 1983. Because his smell was so offensive. This wasn't an elderly thing. It was 1983. I wouldn't make fun of Trump today if it was an elderly thing. That's not what we do on the left. It happens to elderly people. Trump wasn't elderly. We didn't complain. The table next to him complained, and the table behind him complained. We smelled it, but my father and I didn't complain about it. Trump was not elderly. The smell was so offensive that they finally had to ask him to leave. And he did leave, quietly, right by us, and it wafted us.
Social media users are also confirming Trump's longtime odor. Lou at Lilo Bu writes, I heard this in the 90s from my neighbor who worked for him. Also, Noel Kessler, who was his assistant on The Apprentice, has said publicly that he had to help him change his diaper. Trump, he is a sick man.
He's worn diapers since probably the 90s, but I saw it firsthand in the 2000s on Celebrity Apprentice in late 2000s, and we'd have to stop the show and change him, and that was Keith Schiller's job. He would take him off set, he would wipe him down. Our nickname for Keith was Wet Wipes. It's not a joke. It's happened several times.
Comedian Kathy Griffin went public on the podcast of Trump's niece, Mary Trump.
The dog has a distinct smell that doesn't really get enough press. It's like body odor with kind of like a scented makeup products, but you can smell the hair products even outdoors.
Griffin's description recently made it into a Lincoln Project ad.
Claiming the former president smells bad.
The dog has a distinct smell. It's like body odor with kind of like a scented makeup product.
Donald, is that you?
All of this, along with reports Trump has long suffered from incontinence, has made an old White House photo op clip go viral. In 2018, during a bipartisan meeting on gun violence, the microphones picked up the sound of Trump farting.
So today
Did you hear that? Here it is again, and watch Senator Feinstein's reaction.
So today we're here in a bipartisan fashion to show leadership in an effort to end this senseless violence. It can be ended.
Trump, though, has not ended his ridicule of other people facing physical challenges.
Says, what about Christie? He's a fat pig. You can't call. No, look. Please do not call Chris Christie a fat pig. Okay? It's not appropriate because you're not allowed to use the word fat. Use the word pig, but you can't use the word.
During Donald Trump's first campaign for the White House, Trump smeared the physical appearance of a New York Times reporter. Serge Kovaleski, there on the left, had written a story Trump did not like. As you can see, the reporter suffers from a chronic condition that impairs movement of his arms. Trump ridiculed the man at a campaign rally in South Carolina.
And now the poor guy, you got to see this guy. Oh, I don't know what I said. I don't remember. He's going like, I don't remember. Oh, maybe that's what I said. This is 14 years ago. They didn't do a retraction.
I'm sure Trump's supporters are going to demand a retraction from everybody who suggested Trump's bloody right palm was a sign of syphilis. Then again, maybe Trump really does have syphilis and a bad body odor. There are certainly signs one could point to have that belief. And believing Donald Trump is a disgusting human being and a cancer on U.S. politics and expressing that belief is still allowed in this country, at least for now. By the way, Donald Trump recently exploded after being ridiculed in a God parody ad.
God said, I need a man whose followers will call black white, call evil good, and call criminals hostages. So God made a dictator. God said, I need his political party to obey without question, and the press fear his wrath. So God made a dictator.
Check out that video at the link below. I'm David Schuster. Thanks for joining us.